Hello and welcome to Chess with Simon. I'm Simon. Pawn to e4, best by test. Let's play the King's Gambit. So the idea here is we're going to develop, well, black hasn't accepted the Gambit, so this has changed things a bit. So what's happening now is we're going to play, I don't think I've ever seen this position before. We could take on e5. So we're going to take on e5. We're then going to defend our pawn on e4. We're then going to play knight f3. Okay, we're going to defend our pawn on e4 with the bishop. Are we fianchetto? Wow, why not? It's not a terrible idea, is it? We're going to play knight e2. We're just going to castle. We're going to assume that queen... We're going to play d4 at some point. So what we're going to play is knight e2. We're going to castle. We're going to assume that queen's a bit silly where it is. We're going to do something pretty. Okay. Does pawn d4 work? Yep, you can't take that pawn on d4. Take it with a queen, we take it with a knight, we take it. So, it's a good move. If you can play d4 with tempo in the opening, it's a good move. I think we're better here in what is quite an original opening. We've got ideas of knight d5, but not while we're so badly pinned. We've got ideas of knight d5. What would knight d5... Well, what knight d5 would result in, unfortunately, is, although we've got a fork on c7, it would result in taking on e2. So, let's unpin. And I think this is the natural way we're going to unpin. Takes on e2, knight takes on e2, fine. We've also got ideas of knight f4, which, is a good move, I think. Knight f4 is a good move, followed by knight d5. Uh-huh. Well, I'm still claiming knight f4 is a good move. Don't you think? Where's that queen going? Where is that queen going? We're about to find out, right? Knight d5 is just generally just like hit the bishop. Okay. Because we're going to play c3. c3. Bishop's trapped after c3. How very amusing. So hang on, let's have a look at this. Knight f6, c3, takes on f6. Sorry, knight f6, c3, takes on d5, pawn takes on d5, two pieces are hanging. Is the cunning plan for me to take that and then bishop c5 pins my queen against my king? That's hardly in the spirit of mutual cooperation, is it? What about this, though? Brutal game, chess. It's a brutal game. The thing about black is a little bit underdeveloped. My friend from is it Singapore? Philippines, I'm sorry. A lot of good chess players in the Philippines, a lot of chess history. Bobby Fischer played a match there, didn't he? But Wesley So's from the Philippines, right? I'm pretty sure. I'm almost sure. Wesley So, I'm doing his chessable course. Filipino-American chess grandmaster. Yeah. And what was the Fischer match in the Philippines? Fischer. Philippines. Bobby. Oh. Okay. I can't find out, but I'm sure he did something wonderful in the Philippines. Okay, so that looks like a piece. I think we take this way. Which way do we take? I think I dislike the knight most. Oh, also, we can take the bishop. So what we can do here, we've got a nice little sequence, is black takes on d4, we take on b4, black takes on b4, we play bishop d2, hitting the queen, and then soon afterwards we play rook c1, which I think is just going to be really unpleasant, because what it is we're a piece up, but we're also just positionally, we got a better position. Positionally, we got a better position. I mean, I'm just hitting the queen. And then I think what I'm going to do is do rook c1. Nice big check. My recommendation, and I'm not being funny, I'm being really serious, against the King's Gambit is just e4, e5, f4, just take on f4. It's, you know, white's worse. It's like, it's a beautiful opening with a lot of history, but white's worse, you know. And chess is a game, it's not mathematics, so it's fine to play openings that are not mathematically accurate. Okay, what we're going to do here is takes on a2, and then knight b4 hits the queen, and then threatens knight c6 check, which wins the rook, which is really cute. It's going to make me happy, because c6 is protected by the c1 rook. I mean, the queen might also be trapped. Well, not quite trapped, but knight c6 is the killer here. And if I were teaching, I would say, look at that black king side. You know, you just can't let that happen, and particularly not for a player of this quality. Knight c6 is the end of the game, because it's probably a whole rook, isn't it? Well, we'll see. We will see. But I think we're a piece up. We're a piece up. So, I mean, also, incidentally, okay, my opponent didn't want me to play knight c6. Thank you for the game. That was a good game. Should we have a little look at it? Let's have a little look at it. I think the answer is you got to take on f4 here. That is not a good move, because already +1 for white. Well, not +1, but it's plus something. +1 point thingy. I like my little positional handling of it. It's just, well, that was a mistake, look. So here I'm +3. They want to play knight d5, because c7 is so vulnerable. So this was a bad move. Okay. So was this. You really can take that. So knight takes. Why can't you take with the queen? Why can't you take with the queen? So here, knight takes is correct. And you... Oh, this. Which I saw later, but I didn't see there. Okay, so that's a bad move. Which means that was a bad move. This is a good move. That was a bad move. Knight f4 was a good move. Queen a5 was a good move, although now white's just winning. This is a bad move. Actually, I should have taken on b4, but it's all fine. c3 was still a good move. This was probably a bad move. Yeah, this is... I mean, in a lost position, this is a bad move. Because... and Okay, so knight d5 was slightly preferred here, but bishop d2 is pretty natural. Again, they want the check on the open file, but... Ooh, it's mate in 4. Queen c4 check. Of course, because if you go to b8, you just do queen c7 check and you take in on d8. So the king's got to run to d7. And then the rook can take on f7. That was a miss, wasn't it? That was a bad miss. I mean, I had seen this sequence, rook b1, and then hitting the queen with the knight. So there was, a winning sequence, but you shouldn't really miss a mating sequence. The machine is very kindly said 2 mistakes, no blunders, no missed wins. I think missing checkmate in 4 is pretty bad. But, let's be easy on ourselves, eh? Let's not beat ourselves up. Doesn't help anybody. I hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed that, and I hope you're all well. Bye-bye.